Hey everyone, this is Nancy Ridgway, the Artistic Director of R5 Productions. Tonight, we are delighted to launch our inaugural Playhouse series of one acts exploring the theme of consequences. Over the past few months, R5 Productions solicited and received over 60 original works from playwrights all over the world. Jim, Rob, and I read them all and selected the four that will be presented this month. In addition, we were very lucky to find talented directors to helm two of the plays. One you will meet tonight and the other at our final performance. Tonight's production, entitled Shapes and Stanzas, Three Boxes and a Triangle A-Line and a Curved Circle, was written by Ken Preus. Ken is a Central Florida-based writer and teacher. His one-act plays and 10-minute comedies have been performed at schools and in festivals all over the world, including 48 of our 50 states. Making his directorial debut with R5 Productions and located in New York City, we welcome Chima Chikazunga. Over the years, Chima has directed plays with Artistic New Development Theater Company, Theater for the New City, Midtown International Theater Festival, Downtown Urban Arts Festival, and the Players Theater in New York City. He is also an accomplished actor and playwright. Our theme is consequences. Consequences can be positive or negative. Everything we think and say and do has consequences for ourselves and others. Like ripples on a pond, our actions spread out and affect others because everything is interconnected. And we need to remember that our actions are irreversible. Consequences are where our thoughts and actions meet reality. Please hang around after the show tonight to meet the playwright, cast, and crew for a short talk back. Thank you for your continued support of R5 Productions, and enjoy the show.
Morning, Ronnie.
Suzie.
Is that a new Spider-Man comic? Can I read it when you're done?
Yep, I'm halfway now.
I can get you some Batman comics from my big brother.
Awesome.
I got this already on the bus. It's a note from Kimmy.
She asked you to give it to me?
She told me to give it to you. She's kind of bossy.
Sometimes, yeah. Thanks.
You going to look at it?
Later, maybe. I want to see what happens with Spider-Man first.
He shoots a web and catches a bad guy. Show me the note.
Why?
Kimmy wouldn't bring it. You won't open it. It's a mystery.
It's not a mystery. It's a letter. I gave it to her. She gave it back.
I gave it back? I carried it all the way here. I want to see what it says.
You'll tell someone.
Who would I tell? I only talk to you and you'll already know.
Fine. Here. You can read it to me. I'm afraid to look.
Do you like me? Check 1. It's a love letter.
It's a like letter. I clearly wrote like.
You didn't write it that clearly. You spelled things right, though.
Just tell me what box she checked,
Maybe.
please.
I am telling you, she checked maybe.
I only drew 2 boxes, yes and no.
Well, she added a maybe box in the middle.
How could she do this?
Looks like she used a pink magic marker.
But why?
Probably thinks it's pretty.
Let me see that. Why would she check maybe?
She's terrible at making choices. Remember when we bought Superman stickers and she was ahead of us in line? She took 20 minutes to pick a rubber eraser. Unicorn, kitten, unicorn, kitten. Guess she's bossy and wishy-washy. Wishy-bossy? What are you doing with that ruler?
There's no way she drew the maybe box right in the middle. I'm seeing if her maybe is closer to the yes or to the no. That way I know which way she's leaning.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Aha! The box is closer to the yes.
But her check is way closer to the no. Look, she almost missed the whole box. I bet she needs glasses, but thinks she's too cool to wear them.
Kimmy doesn't need glasses.
Well, I can see things she can't.
This was stupid, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I'm a math kid. You're the writer. I should have asked you to help. I make it better.
Just make it fancier. I'll write one and show you. If I wrote a note, I wouldn't just ask a question. I start by saying how I feel.
How?
With a poem like this. I like you. Do you like me too? Check a box to tell me true.
To tell me true? No one talks like that.
It's a poem. It's not supposed to sound like talking. It's supposed to rhyme.
Oh. Can we make the boxes rhyme too?
I like you. Do you like me too? Choose a box to tell me true. Yes, I do. Or no thanks. Ew.
Draw the boxes side by side.
So she can put a maybe in the middle. Got it. Boom. The perfect note.
You're amazing.
Like Spider-Man?
Like Wonder Woman.
Thank you. Well, I've got books to return before class.
You want me to walk with you?
Nah, I'll just take my invisible jet. Now, where did I put it? Darn thing is so hard to find. See you at lunch?
I'll save our seats.
Perfect.
Wait, you forgot your note. You should give it to someone you like.
Maybe I already did.
Afternoon, Ronald.
Suzie, it's been forever. What are you doing here?
Visiting my brother. Volunteered to get my niece from drama club. Heard you'd be here, so I came a little early. So, middle school math teacher, huh?
And after school sponsor for the Monday Mathletes with their spectacular 0-7 record. They're mingling out there now with more successful clubs.
Not a strong team.
They're like the X-Men if everyone's superpower was the inability to solve for X.
X-Men. Still reading comics?
Have to escape somehow. We didn't all make it out of town like you did. Congrats on your poetry book, by the way. It was big news.
Unfortunately, not a big seller.
I bought a copy.
So you were the one.
You're an amazing writer. Don't act like it wasn't exciting to get published.
I'm sorry. It was exciting. Got a couple of good reviews, some opportunities on the horizon. Just embarrassing to talk about.
You want embarrassing? You've taken on the world like Wonder Woman. I've been stuck 30 years in the same 10-mile radius.
So you've frozen time and space. Any other math magic you can show me while I'm here?
If you'd arrived before I dismissed the mathletes, you'd have seen me plot points on a coordinate grid.
Darn, my timing.
Hey, you want to grab dinner tonight? Catch up a little? We can venture out of the radius for something fancy.
I'd love to, honestly, but I was only here for the weekend. I'm headed back to my brother's, then right to the airport to catch a flight. Oh, timing again.
Airport, huh? Invisible jet in the shop?
I misplaced that thing once back in college. Been flying commercial ever since.
Where you headed?
Home, initially. LA, a few bookstore appearances out west, then Paris, possibly.
Possibly. A writing thing?
A dating thing. Invited by a gentleman acquaintance. Haven't exactly accepted yet.
Not ready for the city of love?
Maybe I should counter offer. You know if there's a city of like anywhere?
You're asking me about dating and geography? That's like asking a math question to my mathletes.
I'm too finicky and fickle. Finickle? We'll never figure out this relationship thing, will we?
I don't even have recent relationships to analyze.
No ex to solve for?
No one's serious. A few dates here and there. The local ladies are just not impressed with common collecting math guys with travel paralysis.
But you can plot points on a coordinate grid.
Well, I do have that going for me.
You should ask Kimmy out again. I guess she's probably Kimberly by now. I heard she's back in town.
She's back. Still Kimmy, though. Her daughter is right over there.
She's a mathlete?
She's the dancer making fun of a mathlete. The one desperately seeking to look like Madonna.
Wow. Doesn't her outfit violate dress code?
Probably. If you factor the hairspray, fire code too.
Kimmy approves of that outfit?
Kimmy has a matching one.
You are so lucky I steered you away from her in 4th grade and again in 7th and 12th.
You're always good at helping me avoid bad decisions. I could have really used your guidance sophomore year of college.
You didn't date Kimmy, did you?
No. That's when I decided to become a math teacher.
I should have been there for you. I'm sorry. We really should have kept in touch too.
We survived an awkward 2-week romance in 4th grade. We can survive this.
You're right. It was only 13 days though.
You're correcting the math teacher?
This isn't math, it's memory. And we've discussed this. We were a couple for 13 days.
9 if you subtract the weekends we didn't see each other.
8 if you count the day I missed when I cut my fingers on that ceramic Supergirl.
I seriously wanted to buy you a Wonder Woman.
And I seriously didn't break that Supergirl gift on purpose.
So you've claimed. I still think it was a ploy to avoid holding hands.
I did find that a little gross. That was my first Paris, possibly. It was exciting. I just wasn't ready for it. We did make it 8 days, though.
That's a long time for a 4th grader. Creating ratio of days we spent together to days I'd been alive at the time. It still qualifies as one of my longest relationships.
Math confuses me. I have no idea if that's romantic or sad.
Probably a little of both. You know, I wrote you a letter after I read your book. It probably got lost. I wasn't sure how exactly to reach you. I sent it to care of your purposer.
Why didn't you ask my brother for my address?
I'm still scared of him from the time he accused me of stealing those Batman comics you lent me without his permission.
Totally my bad. You shouldn't be scared of him now.
He doesn't still hate me?
Oh, he does. I just think you could take him in a fight. Anyway, about the letter.
Your poem stirred up all these feelings I realized I should have confessed before college, before high school even. Certainly before I let so much time
It wasn't lost. Your letter? I found it.
I was afraid the publishers tossed it in a stack of fan mail and autograph requests.
They did. The stack was just one letter high. It was a pretty thick envelope, though.
There's lots to say when you've been holding back for 20 years.
I know. That's how I was able to write those poems.
So my letter didn't upset you?
Just a little. There were no boxes to check, so I had to compose a written response. Reactions to your confessions, ironic and pathetic confessions of my own, and some very similar superhero imagery. Mine rhymes, though.
Show off.
I was going to mail it. Then I found out I was coming to town. I saved it as an excuse to see you. Here. No reading until I leave, though, which it is unfortunately time to do.
Thanks. I have nothing to give you before you go.
Plot me something on a coordinate grid. It may not impress the locals, but we out-of-towners love it.
I know just the thing. These two lines are us when we were younger.
We look so thin.
We were parallel lines from elementary through high school. Same direction, close together.
Never quite connecting.
Intersecting.
What?
Never quite intersecting.
Thanks, Teach.
It's for your own protection. If someone hears you using the wrong terms, you'll be mistaken for a mathlete, and Kimmy's kid will probably bully you.
So what happens to these lines? They just go on infinitely, never getting closer?
Oh no, I'm still a line, but you became a curve right after graduation, moving in new directions. College, California, Paris, possibly.
So today changed nothing?
Today changed everything. Today was a tangent.
A tangent?
A line touches a curve for the first time briefly.
Never quite intersecting.
Not yet, but odds are better that they will.
So we both keep moving then?
You keep moving. I'll write letters from within my 10-mile radius. If I feel daring, I'll venture out and mail them from the fancy post office.
I expect a real stack this time. Don't leave me waiting 20 years.
Like you're doing to your niece? Go. Your brother doesn't need another reason to hate me.
Fine. Still think you could take him though. This was a lovely tangent.
The loveliest.
Is there a term for when a line and a curve meet more than once?
There is. It's called a secant.
Well, here's to secant chances. Evening, Ron.
Oof. Made it.
Promised I would. Sorry I'm late. Did you get my text?
I did not.
You forgot your cell again. We've talked about this.
Half my life, my phone was attached to my house. Left the darn thing by habit.
Well, some habits are hard to break.
It's nice to be reunited in person.
What else would one do at a reunion?
Take photos, look at the yearbooks, make out behind the ice sculpture.
Sounds fun. Can you buy a girl a drink first?
I have a table with snacks.
Works for me.
It's odd seeing everyone back in the old cafeteria.
Nuts.
Totally.
No, I mean nuts. Pass them. I was told there would be snacks. Wait, is this?
It is.
Wow. 50 years later, and we're finally sitting at the cool kids table. What have you done with the cool kids?
I haven't done anything with the cool kids. Ever. Not even once.
Why do I remember you in a prank with some football players and cheerleaders?
They locked me in the trophy case and took Polaroids.
Right. I knew you were involved somehow. Where are the Sinister Six tonight anyway?
Living too far away, laughing at their invitations.
Assembling in the parking lot to plan revenge on the guy who stole their table?
I hope not. I barely fit in that trophy case before I grew this belly.
What about Kimmy? She didn't fight you for these seats?
I'm afraid she's no longer with us.
Kimmy passed away?
No, she just thought this was lame and went outside to smoke.
So, it's just like a regular day of high school for her? I guess she hasn't changed much since graduation.
Kimmy wouldn't change if she were bitten by a radioactive spider.
We've changed, though, haven't we?
I don't know. Picture this place 50 years ago. What would we be doing?
Sitting together, sharing a snack, comparing classmates to comic book characters.
But we'd be way in the back by the exit, behind the burnouts in the glee club.
So we haven't evolved. We've migrated.
Well, we're right here where we're supposed to be.
It is a great table,
A little unsteady at times,
but amazingly comfortable.
and the view is spectacular.
We took our time getting here, didn't we?
The timing is perfect. We just took different routes.
If only we'd had Google Maps at graduation.
I'd have still plotted my route with pen and paper. I traveled less than you did, though.
I don't know why I was a nomad for so long. It was madness, really. No madness.
Oh, madness.
Not really sure where it originated.
Paris, possibly.
I suppose. I didn't expect to fall in love, not with a city. It was so amazing, though, not just Paris, all of Europe, the history, the artistry. I have a hard time believing I made it everywhere I did.
You kept a pretty good record. I got postcards and poetry books to prove it.
You really should go sometime.
The one thing I wanted to see most is here, though.
The Leaning Tower of Pizza over at Luigi's.
It's breathtaking.
I hope you'll take me to see it again. I'm here now, like I've promised. I'm done traveling.
Well, you've seen everything. Where else could you go?
It's not that. It's you. Reaching out, reconnecting, it cured my insanity.
No madness.
Not a trace. These help too. Do you know what's in what these envelopes are?
Prescriptions for medication?
Letters you wrote when I traveled. You were so supportive and prolific.
I couldn't wait for you to come back. I'm sorry I stopped writing.
Couldn't wait for me to come back.
The lone male in the math department can only stay single for so long before attracting a female coworker. It's a numbers thing.
I'm sorry I never met Cynthia.
Me too. You'd have liked her.
She must have been special to get you to get out of your 10-mile radius. Niagara Falls, was it?
Honeymoon capital of the world.
Hmm.
Even spent a day on the Canadian side.
Ooh, fancy. So, things were good.
A little touristy.
I mean, the marriage. It was a good one.
A great one. Even better when we had Catherine.
My brother kept me updated. I should have kept sending postcards. I just didn't know how Cynthia would react to mysterious messages from abroad.
From a lady. Although lady might be too posh. Some of those postcards from Ireland were...
I was literally in Limerick. What else was I supposed to write?
Cynthia asked about you, you know?
She did?
She discovered your poetry among my comics. It raised her curiosity.
What did you tell her?
That we were close friends, that we hadn't spoken in years, that despite written confessions, we'd long ago harbored asynchronous crushes. We'd never actually dated.
So you told her nothing about those magical days in 4th grade?
What was it, 13 days? Was it 8? It just seemed too complicated. She liked your poems, though. She read them to Catherine sometimes, to herself, too, after she got sick. Helped her escape, I think. So you were here with us, in a way.
20 years of marriage. That's a long time.
It felt short.
I'm so sorry. I wrote when I heard, but it felt odd to send it right away. Then I was going to come to town, but I mean, when's the right time to reach out after that?
According to Catherine, the 10 years I waited was a little excessive. She's actually the one who encouraged me to contact you. I had to wait until it felt right, though.
What did you do to keep busy?
Walked Catherine down the aisle, read comics with the grandkids, worked to be a better teacher. Right before retirement, I led my mathletes to our elusive first ever team victory.
A perfect ending.
The beginning of one. The winning answer turned out to be secant. Something was telling me it was time to connect again.
Destiny?
Maybe. Mostly Catherine, though. She put your number on my speed dial and made your website the homepage on my computer. A full year of phone calls, FaceTime, emails, and texts, and here we are.
Here we are. It was only 11 months, though. For a math teacher, your estimation skills are questionably slapdash. Anyway, I've been thinking about our past since we last met. Hand me that pen and napkin.
You're going to plot it this time?
I'm a writer. We plot things too. This curve is you, heading east to Niagara Falls and then coming back.
It looks like a smile.
You were happy. This is me, starting in the same spot, but looping the other way, out west. Happy too, only I kept going. Even when it felt like I was on the other side of the world, I was just making my way back to where I needed to be. And that's us. A circle.
More rotund than we were on the last graph.
Just more complete. We've moved around in different directions for years, but we're both finally back exactly where we started.
Technically, we started at the elementary school. It's like 2 blocks south.
This isn't math. This is a concrete poem. And I'm home this time, really, for good.
It's better than good. I brought something to commemorate the occasion. A welcome home present.
You shouldn't have.
Actually, Catherine insisted I should.
I really like that daughter of yours. A ceramic Wonder Woman?
It's the actual one I tried to get you back in the 4th grade.
How long did it take you to find this?
About 20 minutes on eBay, but the combined effort spanned well over half a century.
I love it. I have a little something from 4th grade too. You wrote a lot of letters over the years, but this was the first.
Well, technically, I wrote it. You just chose a box.
Wait, this is the actual note from 4th grade?
No, Ron. I bought vintage paper, had a hypnotist help recall the content, and hired an art forger to replicate your check mark.
It was money well spent because this looks legit. I like you. Do you like me too? Choose a box to tell me true. Yes, I do. No thanks, ew. Solid rhyme and meter.
It's among my best work.
And the first poem you ever got a check for. I can't believe you kept it all these years.
It was a big moment. You were the first boy to ever declare his like for me. I'm hoping you'll be the last. Here's your pen. Choose wisely and you win a dance.
The yes box is already filled in. The old check isn't good anymore?
Sorry, checks are voided after 60 years. You'll have to mark it another way.
Lots of pressure on a math guy. So many shapes to choose from.
I'm sure you'll find the right one.
Maybe I already did. It's a circle and it's
Perfect.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I'm going to ask the cast to turn on their cameras so we can meet everybody. And we'll start our little chat. I'll turn mine on too. So congratulations, everybody. That went really, really well. It was great. I loved it. I hope it felt good to you too.
Thank you, Nancy.
nice work.
Yeah, nice. So it sounded really good, guys.
Yeah, it did. It sounded great. I thought it sounded really good. So just so you guys know, and we're pretty casual about this, there is probably a 10, maybe 15-second delay. So the
Okay.
people that are listening on YouTube, aren't quite done yet. So we're a little ahead of them.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're hearing this now, Nancy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, that's life. It is what it is, right? Okay. So what I'd like to do is have everybody just introduce themselves, and I will, I can see. I'm just going to go around from top, all the way around. So, Chima, can you just introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Chima Chikazunga. I directed this piece and I played the male parts.
And did a great job. I'm Nancy Ridgway. I'm the artistic director of R5 Productions. Tammy?
I am Tammy Clayton. I played Susan and Sue.
Christina?
I am Cristina Villalobos Ureña, and I played Susie.
Ken?
I am Ken Preus, and I wrote the play. And I wanted to compliment everyone for their wonderful performances on stage and behind the scenes. Thanks.
Jim?
And I'm Jim McIntosh. I'm the technical director putting the show together itself, and the composer of the music that you heard tonight.
Which, by the way, I really enjoyed. It was great. You always do such a great job for us. So just to get us started, the first thing I'm going to do is ask Ken a question about what was your inspiration and how did you come up with this idea for the play?
Well, thanks for asking, Nancy. It was interesting. A local theater in Orlando was doing an evening of 10-minute plays, and they wanted plays about romance for all different ages. So I thought I'd, get myself in by writing a play for 10-year-olds, because I figured none of the other writers would attempt to write for children. And then they selected the play to be the opening play in the evening. And then I just had an idea, and I asked the director, I said, hey, how about if I write a play with the same characters in their 60s, and we can open with the same two actors or the same two characters, and we can close with the same two characters. He said, oh, that's a great idea to write a bookend. So I started writing the end play, and then I realized jumping from the 10-year-olds to the 60-year-olds was just way too much. So I sheepishly went back and said, hey, how about if I do 3? And we'll do one at the beginning and then one in the middle right before intermission to tease it, and then we'll close with it. And he said, all right, if you can write it, we'll do it. And then I went back and I tweaked all 3 plays. I kind of wrote them simultaneously from that point, making sure if I introduced Wonder Woman in the first scene that she would reappear in the second and then the final. Sure. And then I just really loved the final result. And then they did it spread out with a bunch of other plays in between. But since then, I've been kind of submitting it like I did to you guys as a 1-act. So you could have the story just progress in order without distractions of, meeting other characters and other plays in between. So
yeah, no, I thought it was really great. And Chima, I'm going to throw it over to you. So you made some very interesting choices about how to cast this show and have these characters portrayed. So what was your kind of putting together the idea that the theme of our series is consequences, and that along with the play, what was your inspiration and how did that all, kind of affect, your vision for the show? Just kind of tell us a little bit about how you came up with everything.
Well, I guess my biggest inspiration was to work with these talented actresses. So I just knew I had to get them involved somehow. And I sent them the scripts. They said yes. And yeah, it's literally just working with these talented actresses. So
that's great. I think it was a really interesting idea for you to use 2 different actors, and one doing the younger voice and then the other voices. I think it really worked out great. It was very, very believable. And we've talked a couple of times about bringing back little Susie in the 3rd scene. I thought that was very, very well done. But it was great, clever idea.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I have a little bit of Ronnie in me. There's that little crush from your childhood that you're like talking to them now as an adult. Yeah. And it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, Chima, one of the questions we got online was, having our 2 actors playing Susie, Sue, and Susan, did they rehearse together so that they could hear the tempo of each other's speaking
Great
voice?
question.
Ladies, you want to answer?
That is a great question. I'll take it. We did rehearse together, and we actually flip-flopped roles and flip-flop characters to really get into the like nitty-gritty of, you know, each role and each character. So yeah, and it helped a lot to hear Christina and to hear Ron and Ronald, or Sue and Susie, for me anyway. So
Yeah, I agree. The exploration of the different characters definitely helped to make it one.
So Ken, has this play been done numerous times before?
A handful of times. It's actually been performed as 3 different 10-minute plays in several festivals, and a couple times it's been produced once before as a radio production, like you guys did it this evening, and once on stage. I just was unable to attend it, and the one time it was done on stage, the one act, they used just 2 actors who portrayed the characters as children and middle age, and then, you know, in their 50-year high school reunion. So it's kind of been done several times, but it hasn't really found its like final form of production. I don't know if it's just a radio play. I don't know if it's a stage play for 2 actors or a stage play for 6 actors. So I'm still experimenting with it. And each time I hear it and watch it, I take notes and I make small changes to the script to try to get it to its, you know, core essence and really make sure that all the lines are hitting and, you know, finding the right rhythm. And I loved when I get to attend an earlier rehearsal with this talented cast, and Chima and Christina and Tammy, they're doing so many interesting things with certain lines that are hitting me differently than I'd imagined them originally, which I really love. So I really love the style that they brought to the characters, the sense of humor, the timing, punching certain lines where, you know, I thought maybe that's a line that wouldn't be punched, and then they punch them like, no, that's the way they should always do it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, you know, we kind of kept a little bit of a distance between Chima and his rehearsals, you know, because we wanted to let everybody do their own thing. We came in at the end to help with the technical part of it. So I've heard the play 3 times now in the last 48 hours, and it's evolved each time. It's a little different here and there, but and as just keeps getting stronger and better and better. And I just think it's great material. And you guys did a fabulous job. Really great. So,
and, you know, Ken, it's great hearing what you just shared and how you listen to it and how it changes over time and how it's evolved, because a lot of times people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, so that they think that, you know, the play was written and it's sent out in the world, when they don't understand the development process that goes into making plays and shows, and the first reading of it, and then the first performance of it, and how things get tweaked and changed. So it was great hearing your perspective on that.
They say that plays are never finished, they're just eventually given up on. I haven't given up on this one yet. I think I've made a couple notes of things I'm going to go in and tighten up just a little bit. So there's going to be a new final draft of the play existing, and I don't know when it'll ever be a final draft.
Yeah, that's great. Are there any other questions, Jim?
So there's no other questions, but Rob did put a note in our comments here saying fantastic first installment of the Playhouse series. So he thanks the 3 of you, and Ken, thank you for your contribution to our inaugural event of this.
So we'll not keep everybody. I'm gonna I'll close down the live stream in just a second, so you guys all just hang in there. But just for our listeners, this is automatically recorded. You can listen to it on YouTube. It's free. So if anybody, friends, family, fans, whatever, want to just, go to the YouTube channel, you'll be able to listen to it. And all the R5 Productions radio plays are there. So,
it's nice to drive in your car and listen to this. So
exactly. Yeah.
To the radio play.
Yep.
Listen,
it's really great.
Listen while you drive. Don't watch.
That's
right.
correct. That's right.
Right. Right. So, so I'll do that, and then just I'm going to
So we're going to stay here as
yes.
he shuts down the video feed. We want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. And for those who are going to be listening in the future, enjoy.
Thank you, everybody.